Just a minute. Already I discussed about the conventional programming and machine programming. And how machine learning is related to artificial intelligence, that already we discussed. Now, the highlights of this session is what is data, how to define it. Okay, I want to share my screen. What is data? Define it. Data can be defined as a representation of facts or instructions about some entry, students, school, sports, that can be processed or communicated by human or machines. Data is a collection of facts such as numbers, words, pictures, audio clips, videos, maps, measurements, observations, or even just description of things. Data may be represented with the help of characters such as alphabets, A to Z, digits 0 to 9, or special characters. Here you have to see the activities. Creating a data set yourself as an attribute name, the size of the field, data type. Name is a character, age is a number, address is a string, clause is a character, and number of friends is coming to the number. Number of FB posts coming to the number. Type of Facebook post, can you guess? Number of words, documents you created, number. Type of words, document you created. Okay, can you guess? Now you have created a time to categorize. The data can be characterized into two types: structured and unstructured data. This is very important actually. The discussion regarding to structured data and unstructured data is very important. The structured data is most often categorized as quantitative data, and its type data must as work with every day. Structured data has predefined data types and format so that it fits well in the column slash fields of database or spreadsheets. They are highly organized and easily analyzed. In the above activity, name, age, address, etc. are the examples of structured data. Data is structured, accurately defined fields. Data that can be stored in relational databases or spreadsheets, Excel, is the best example of structured data. However, for the fields of type of Facebook posts, do you have any predefined data type? In fact, your Facebook post can carry anything: text, picture, video, audio, etc. You cannot have one fixed data type. For such a data, that's why you call it unstructured data, where neither size is fixed nor data type is predefined. Unstructured data is most often categorized as qualitative data. and it cannot be proceed and analyze research. Example of unstructured data include text, audio, mobile activity. These are all well examples. Social media activity, satellite imaginary, surveillance imaginary, list goes on. These are unstructured data is difficult to deconstruct because it has no predefined model, meaning it can be organized in relational databases instead of non-relational SQL databases are the best management of unstructured data. These are all unstructured data. But coming to Excel, the data is structured. That is called structured database. Terminology is related concepts. Machine learning. Machine learning is the science of getting computers to act without being explicitly programmed. Machine learning is algorithm tasks by generalizing from examples. Of late, machine learning has achieved a great deal of popularity. Was first attempt to develop a machine that initiated the behavior of living being was made in 1930s. Machine learning is a team used today to describe applications AI which equips the system with the ability to learn and improve from experience using the data that is accessible to it. For more, please learning. It's time to learn about these things. Supervise and reinforcement. Machine learning is often divided into three categories: supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. Supervised, label data, direct feedback, and predict outcome future. Unsupervised, no labels, no feedback, file hidden structure. Reinforcement, decision process, renowned system, learn types of actors. Supervised learning. As the name specifies, supervising learning occurs in the presence of supervisor with machine with labeled data. Some data is already tagged with correct answer. Learning which takes place in the presence of supervisor or a teacher. A supervised learning is an algorithm learned from the label training data and then becomes ready to predict outcomes for unforeseen data. Example 1. Remember the time when you go to the school, the time when you go first learn what an apple looked like. The teacher probably showed the picture of an apple and told it was right, and you could identify particular fruit since then. This is called supervised learning. Step 1. You provide the system with data contains photos of apples. Let's know that these are apples. This is called label data. Step 2. The model learns from the label data, and the next time you ask it to identify an apple, it can do it easily. For instance, suppose that given a basket of different kind of fruits, now the first step to train the machine to identify all different types of fruits one by one in the following manner. It's round with the depression at the top and its color being red, then it will be labeled as apple. If the shape of object is resembles a long curved cylinder with tapering ends and its color being green or yellow, then it will be labeled as banana. Picking a random leaf on the basket. How to identify? Logic we have to identify from the and ask the machine to identify. The machine will classify the fruit on the basis of shape and color would confirm the fruit to banana and place it to banana category. Suppose you have data set entailing images of different bikes and cars. Now we need to train the machine on how to classify all different images. How will you create label data? Unsupervised machine learning. Many times it's hard to find machine are neither labeled or not classified. Unsupervised learning is a machine learning technique where we do not need to supply labeled data. Instead, we allow machine learning model algorithm to discover the patterns on its own. The task of the machine is to assemble unstored information according to resembles patterns and variances without the formal training of data. It's kind of learning the machine in the unlabeled data without guidance or supervision. If somebody gives a basket full of different fruits and asks you to separate them, you will probably do it on their color, shape, size, and height. Unsupervised learning works like this. Step 1. You provide the system with a data that contains photos of different kinds of fruits and ask it to segregate. Remember, in case unsupervised learning, you don't need to provide label data. Step 2. The system will look pattern the data patterns like shape, color, and size and group the fruits based on those attributes. For instance, suppose a machine is given an image having both dogs and other animals which it has cannot seen before. Logically, machine has no idea about the physical characteristics. Therefore, it cannot categorize the animals, but can surely categorize them according to their similarities, patterns, and differences. The machine will do this job. The above picture into two parts. First category may contain and second category may contain all pictures having different animal. Okay. Let us take another example. A friend invites to the party where you invite a stranger. Now you will classify a person using unsupervised learning. Please try to understand the logic. And this classification can be on the basis of gender, age, group, dress style, education qualification. Why this learning is different from supervised learning? Since you did not use any past and prior knowledge about the person, classified them onto the go. Activity 1. Let's suppose you have never seen a cricket match before and any chance of watching a video on the internet. Can you classify the players on the basis of different criteria? Reinforcement machine learning. Reinforcement learning is an area of machine learning concerned with how software agents to take actions in an environment in order to maximize some motion of cumulative reward. Reinforcement learning is one of the three basic machine learning paradigms alongside supervised learning and unsupervised learning. In reinforcement learning, the machine is not given example of correct input-output rates, but a method provides to the machine to measure its performance in the form of reward. Reinforcement learning methods resemble how humans and animals learn. The machine carries out numerous activities, get rewarded whenever it's something well. Okay, example 1. With many hundreds, the goal of the robot to get a reward and to avoid the hurdles. The robot learns by trying all possible paths. and then chooses the path which reaches the reward. While encountering the least hurdles, each correct step brings robot closer to the diamond while accumulating some points, and each wrong step will push the robot away from the diamond. Just understand the logic. Example 2 also similar way also. Okay. A small kid is given access to laptop. In simple terms, the agent first observe, try to understand laptop environment. Random buttons. Observe how laptop would respond. That is the example. Okay. Can you please write two real world examples of supervised learning? This is the way of learning the subject. I'm posting. This is the way of developing the subject actually. Please find two world applications of supervised learning. This is the way of developing the subject. Write down two real world applications of unsupervised learning. Write down the real world applications of unsupervised learning. What kind of learning algorithm do you think behind computer chess engine? Supervised learning and unsupervised learning examples are very important. Deep learning and neural networks. Deep learning is inspired from human brain and the neurons in the human brain. Therefore, in order to understand deep learning, we'll first know about neurons. This is about deep learning. A small child lie distinguish between school bus and regular transit bus. So, neurons, the brain neurons will come into the picture. This is a simple example. Deep learning, let us understand a neural network, artificial neural network. In short, deep learning consists of artificial neural networks designed on a similar networks present in human brain. The idea of artificial neural network in deep learning is based on the belief that human brain works by making a right connections, and this pattern can be initiated using silicon bytes. Just examine the artificiality and the human brain. Okay, silicon bytes in place of real neurons. Artificial neural network can be described as a layers of software units called neurons, also called a node, connected to different neurons in a layered manner. These networks transform data from one neuron to another neuron until they can classify its output. Neural network is again a technique to build a computer program that learns the data. Okay, a computer program is the excellent concept actually. This is the wonderful concept on this. And AI information foundation, just observe the diagram in 4 inputs, small structure, a simple neural network structure, input layer, hidden layer 1, hidden layer 2, output layer. The most common structure of neural network consists of 3 separate nodes known as input, hidden and output. Input node. This is the layer real word gets introduced in the neural network. Here I am highlighting the points in the practical oriented manner, in my practical oriented manner. What my practical experience. That's why you please treat each and every point, okay, very carefully. Since they are okay. ఒక్కొక్క పాయింట్ చాలా జాగ్రత్తగా అండర్స్టాండ్ చేసుకోవాలి, థింక్ చేయాలి. మనం ఆ పాయింట్ గురించి ఆలోచించి ప్రాక్టికల్ అప్లికేషన్స్ ఏంటో కంపారిటివ్గా చూడాలి. అప్పుడు నాలెడ్జ్ వచ్చినట్లే. మనం చేసిన ఇంత కష్టపడిన దానికి అవుట్కమ్ అంటే అది అర్థం అండి. ప్రతిదానికి కంపారిటివ్ ప్రాక్టికల్ అప్లికేషన్. ఓకే, ఇందాక కొన్నిటికి నేను ట్రేస్ అవుట్ చేయమని చెప్పాను, అలా మిగతా వాటికి కూడా ప్రాక్టికల్ ఓరియంటెడ్ అప్లికేషన్స్, ప్యూర్లీ ప్రాక్టికల్ ఓరియంటెడ్ అప్లికేషన్స్. ఓకే, హిడెన్ నోడ్ అంటే there is no connection to the real world at this stage. It's a point where machine uses information received from the input node, output node. This is the final stage made available at the output level, from gets transferred back to the real world environment. Let me share an example of artificial networks. Okay, artificial networks. A school has to select a students for their upcoming sports meet. The school participants form a group, some 3 authorities, and entrusts them responsibility of selection students based on the following criteria: marks, gender, age, emotional stability. Like this, you have to write a code. The process has some exercises actually. It depends upon the organization. Grade, marks, gender. Okay, how to select a teacher first. Okay, and based on that score, grade, marks, gender, age, emotional stability, the average score students. Okay, just see the diagram, you can understand. Input marks, input 2 gender, input 3 age, input emotions. Emotional stability is very important. స్టేబుల్గా ఉండేవాళ్ళు మనకి హై ప్రియారిటీ అండి. ఇవే ప్రాక్టికల్గా రాస్తే చాలా సింపుల్గా ఉంటుంది. మీరు ప్రాక్టికల్ ఓరియంటెడ్లో లెర్నింగ్ మొదలు పెడితే చాలా ఈజీ అయిపోతుంది. క్రిటికల్గా వెళ్తూ ఉంటే నాలెడ్జ్ వీ కెనాట్ గెయిన్. నేను అందుకే ప్రాక్టికల్ ఓరియంటెడ్ పిక్చర్స్ ఇస్తాను మీకు. ఇన్పుట్ ఏంటి, ఇన్పుట్స్ 4 రకాలుగా మార్క్స్, జెండర్, ఏజ్, ఎమోషన్స్ తప్ప ఏం తీసుకోలేదు మనం అప్పుడు ఇన్పుట్స్. లైక్ మిడిల్లో కూడా మనం హిడెన్ లేయర్స్ అన్నాం. హిడెన్ లేయర్స్ అంటే ఏం తీసుకున్నాం? ఓకే, H1, H2, H3 అంటున్నాం. ఏంటవి H1, H2, H3 హిడెన్ లేయర్స్ అంటే? A group of teachers, they are hidden of course. ఫైనల్ వర్క్, డెసిషన్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత అవుట్పుట్ లేయర్ వస్తుందండి, అది ఫైనల్, అది అవుట్పుట్ లేయర్. ఈజీగా అర్థం చేసుకోవచ్చండి ఈ లాజిక్. నేను చాలా సింపుల్ వేలో చెప్తున్నాను మీకు. ఈవెన్ మంచి కాన్సెప్ట్స్ని, ప్రాక్టికల్ టాపిక్స్ని సింపుల్ వేలో చెప్పుకుంటూ వెళ్తున్నాను. అది మనకు పిచ్ పాయింట్. డీప్ లెర్నింగ్ అంటే ఏంటి? ఈజ్ ఎ బ్రాంచ్ ఆఫ్ మిషన్ లెర్నింగ్ which is completely based on artificial neural networks. The neural network mimics the human brain, so deep learning also kind of imitation of the human brain. In deep learning, we don't need to explicitly program anything. It is important to know that in deep learning, we don't need explicit program anything. Machine learning, input, user extraction, classification, output. Deep learning, input, feature extraction, just see that there is no separation between feature extraction and classification. Both are linked with each other in deep learning. Let us understand difference between machine learning and deep learning. Machine learning works on small amounts of data set for accuracy. Works on large amount of data, deep learning. But whereas machine learning is dependent on low-end machine, whereas deep learning heavily dependent on high-end machine. Machine learning divides the tasks into subtasks, solve them individually, finally combine the results. Deep learning solves problems end to end. Takes less time to train. Takes a longer time to train. Testing time may increase in machine learning. Less time to test the data in deep learning. Here are a few examples of deep learning. Automated driving, aerospace and defense, medical research, industrial automation. What machine learning can cannot can and cannot do. Few examples of machine learning: virtual personal assistant, Alexa, Google Home, etc. Predictions while coming, like traffic forecasts on Google Maps. Traffic forecasts will go on Google Maps. It's a prediction while communicating. Video surveillances. All are practically oriented. Please try to understand. Systems nowadays powered by AI that make it possible to detect a crime before it happens. They track unusual behavior of people, like standing motionless for a long time, stumbling or napping on benches, etc. Social media services. Facebook friend suggestion. Facebook profile that you visit very often. On the basis of continuous learning, list of Facebook users is suggested that you can become friends with. Face recognition on Facebook. When you upload a picture of yourself with a friend, does Facebook instantly recognizes a friend? Facebook checks the poses and projections in the picture. Email spam and malware filtering. Emails are arranged according to some standards. Product recommendations. You often receive emails from the similar merchants. Okay, after you have shopped online product. That is product recommendation. Online fraud detection. Machine learning is l- lending potential to make cyberspace a secure place by tracking okay monetary frauds online frauds అని track చేస్తున్నారు. Okay, any problems or questions which require social context to take a longer for a machine to solve. Okay, machine learning cannot solve ethical problems. If self-driving car kills someone on the road, whose fault it is? Ethical problems you cannot be solved. Okay, this is, can you guess jobs depicted in the pictures below? The job detected in pictures above are professions from not long back, maybe 22 years, 30 years ago. These are so many jobs which exist few decades ago, but are redundant in today's age. Similarly, there are jobs which are unheard 30 years ago, but very popular now. Okay. Next important one is job will grow in help of AI, creative jobs, management jobs, tech jobs. Learning objective is important is to understand the basic mechanics of AI system. మనం నేర్చుకోవాల్సిన ఇవ్వండి యాక్చువల్లీ బేసిక్ మెకానిక్స్ ఆఫ్ AI system. To understand the basic mechanics of AI system. Know that artificial intelligence is a specific type of an algorithm and has specific parts: dataset, learning, algorithm, and prediction. Recognize AI system every day, like reason to prediction, and AI system makes the potential data sets that AI system uses. Instructions for it. AI applications methodologies. Okay. To develop understanding AI applications and know how to apply those tools to improve productivity. They should AI as a tool pretty, such like they treat calculator as a tool for example calculation. Prerequisites: basic understanding AI reasonable fluency in English, computer literature. These are various activities. Key fields in applications of AI. Okay, one is chatbots. If you remember, AI tries to human congruent function. This is very important to our course, like vision, speech reasoning, etc. Chatbot is one of the applications of AI, which is simulate conversation with humans. చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ అండి either through voice commands or through text charts or both. This is very important. We can define chatbot as an AI application that can imitate a real conversation with a user in their language. Natural language. Define chatbot as a real conversation with a natural language. Okay. They enable communicate via text or audio websites, messaging applications, mobile apps, or telephones. Some interesting applications of chatbots are customer services, e-commerce, sales, and marketing, schools and universities. Chatbots broadly divided into two types: rule-based chatbot, machine learning, or AI-based chatbot risk. These are the two classifications. AI bot as a rule-based bot. Rule-based chatbot. This is the simpler form of chatbot, which follows a set of predefined rules and respond to users' questions. For example, a chatbot installed at a school reception area can retrieve data from school's archive to answer queries on a school fee structure, course offered, pass percentage. Rule-based chatbot is used in simple conversations and cannot be used for complex conversations. After training, you ask chatbot, "How are you?" You would get a response, "I am good," like that. You can ask the question rule-based chatbot. Are rule-based chatbots able to answer the questions based on how good the rule and how the extensive data base is? We can have a rule-based bot that understand the value that we apply. However, the limitation is that we won't understand the intent and the context of user's conversation with it. Natural language processing is important. Machine learning or AI-based chatbot. Such a chatbots are advanced form of chatterbots capable of holding complex conversations in real time. They process the questions using neural network layers before responding to them. AI-based chatbots also to learn from previous experience and reinforce learning, and it keeps on evolving. AI chatbots are developed programmed to meet user requests by furnishing suitable and relevant responses. The challenge nevertheless lies in aligning the request to the most intelligent and closest response that would satisfy the user. A rule-based chatbot discussed earlier being AI chatbot when you have post what going on and what's up. Okay, how are you? Like that. How AI chatbots understand user requests. conversation capability, response mechanism. Impossible, general AI, rule-based intelligent machine. Natural language processing. Understand the technology behind the chatbot. It is called NLP, natural language processing. Every time you show a question to Alexa, Siri, or Google Assistant, they use natural language processing to answer your question. Now, if we are faced with the question, what is natural language processing? Just see that natural language is means of language of humans. It refers to different forms in which humans communicate with each other, verbal, written, or non-verbal, or expression. Okay, sentiments also. The technology which enables the machines to understand and process the natural language is called natural language processing. It is defined a branch of artificial intelligence that deals with interaction between computers and humans. Okay, the natural language. The main objective of NLP is to read, interpret, comprehend, and coherently make sense of human language. Creates value for all. NLP sub-area of artificial intelligence deals capability of software to process analyze human language, both verbal and written language. This NLP highlight. Text recognition in image or video. Where and how is NLP is used? NLP is a scenarios where static and predefined answers, options, questions may not work. In fact, if you want to understand the internet in context of user, then it is advisable to use NLP. Let's take example of ordering something. Okay, those options. You can consider rule-based chatbot. Okay, applications of NLP. Summarization of NLP. NLP not only read and understand the paragraphs of full article, but can summarize the article. To understand the summarization process of paragraphs, lines, pages, information extraction. Information extraction is a technology of finding specific information in a document or searching the document itself. It's automatically extract the structured information, such as entities, relationships between entities, and attributes describing entities from unstructured sources. Below are the stepwise process how speech recognition works. Voice sound picked up by the microphone. Step 2. Waveform vibrates on the microphone's diagram, which measures amplitude of the sound of our speech. Input algorithm converts amplitude to frequency and then plots a graph. The plotted graph is converted to equivalent text, which is further analyzed by NLP. The process of computer vision, real world image information decision. Activity plan, activity outcome, activity details. Computer vision, how does computer see an image? Computer vision primary tasks. Semantic segmentation, classification plus localization, object detection, instance segmentation. Semantic segmentation, series, diagram, classification localization. Object is localization task. Localization refers to where object in the image. Object detection. When the human beings see video or image, they immediately identify the objects present in them. This intelligence can be duplicated using a computer. If we have multiple objects in the image, the algorithm will identify the multiple objects. Car, bicycle, and this dog. You can identify. This is a single object identification. This is about the segmentation, rows and columns. This is multi-object tracking using the algorithm. For instance, segmentation is a technique CV which helps identifying outlining distinctly each object of interest appearing in an image. This process will help create pixel mask for each object. An image provides for more granular understanding object's image. Okay, like that. Sheep 1, sheep 2, sheep 3, grass. You will observe that grass also, road also, instant segmentation is. See how great the technology is. Okay. Weather prediction, artificial intelligence. Location, where you have to predict the weather. Okay. Prediction of cyclone. Weather forecasting deals with gathering of satellite data. You try to understand the greatness of AI technology. Identifying patterns in the observations and made then computing results to get accurate weather predictions. This is done real time to prevent disasters. Artificial uses computer generated mathematical program and computer vision technology to identify the patterns so that relevant weather predictions can be made. Scientists are now using AI weather forecasting obtain redefine the accurate results fast. See how the greatness is technology. AI uses computer generated mathematical programs and computer vision technology to identify the make relevant weather predictions. This has result. Okay, key advantage AI based model they adjust dynamic atmospheric changes. Okay, see the see how the it is self-driving car. What should the self-driving car do? Computer vision, deep learning, robotics navigation, characteristics, types of artificial intelligence. This is the conclusion topic in this presentation. Characteristics, types of AI. Here we discussed so many wonderful concepts. మిగతా వాళ్ళు ఎవరైతే ఆబ్సెంట్ అయి ఉన్నారో వాళ్ళందరికీ ప్లీజ్ చెప్పండి అమ్మా. ఓకే, artificial intelligence is autonomous. Yes, it is an autonomous. Its capacity to predict and adapt. It's continuously learning. AI is reactive. AI is futuristic. Data-driven AI, automation system, recommendation systems, activity like that. Okay, so it's this automation system AI. Okay, so more and more concepts I will present in the next time. ఇక్కడ చాలా ప్రాక్టికల్ ఓరియంటెడ్ ఎగ్జామ్స్ డిస్కస్ చేసామండి. చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ చెప్తూ వచ్చాం. మిగతా వాళ్ళకి కూడా చెప్పండి. నేను కొన్ని మాడ్యూల్స్ షేర్ కూడా చేస్తాను. అర్థమైంది అనుకుంటున్నాను. ఓకే, సో జస్ట్ మెసేజ్ మీ ఆర్ మెయిల్. ఓకే, సో my mail ID. Okay, and we will discuss more practical oriented topics. నేను ఏదైతే వర్క్ చేస్తున్నానో అవన్నీ మీకు ఇంకా బ్యూటిఫుల్గా ప్రజెంటేషన్స్లో వస్తున్నాను. ఏ చాట్బోట్స్లో చాలా డెప్త్గా చెప్పుకుంటూ వచ్చాము. సింపుల్ వేలో ఈజీగా మీరు ఈజీగా రాసేట్టు కీవర్డ్స్ మిస్ అవ్వకుండా హైలైట్ చేస్తూ వచ్చాను. ఓకే, ఆప్షన్ అయిన వాళ్ళకి కూడా చెప్పండి. ఓకేనమ్మా, సో థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ టు వన్ అండ్ ఆల్. ఓకే, సో positive responses just mail me to my mail ID. I want to stop here. ఇంకా టుమారో వండర్ఫుల్ టాపిక్స్ ఉంటాయి కోఆర్డినేట్స్, మిగతా వాళ్ళకి కూడా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇవ్వండి. నేను సపోర్టింగ్ డాక్యుమెంట్స్ కూడా పంపిస్తాను. మీరు చదువుకుని ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వడానికి మీరు ఈజీగా ఎక్కువ సెక్యూర్ చేయాలనేది, ఎక్కువ బెనిఫిట్ పొందాలనేది నా అంబిషన్ యాజ్ ఎ వెల్ విషయం. ఓకే, జస్ట్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇవ్వండి అమ్మ అందరికి. ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ అమ్మ. ఓకే, ఐ థింక్ వరప్రసాద్ గారు ఉన్నట్టున్నారు. అర్థమైంది కదమ్మా? యూ హ్యావ్ ఎనీ ఐడియా వచ్చింది కదా? ఏ చాట్ బోట్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ చూసారు కదా? ఓకే ఓకే, గుడ్ అమ్మ, వెరీ గుడ్. ఓకే, థ్యాంక్స్ అమ్మ, థ్యాంక్ యూ లాట్. అడిగానని చెప్పండి అందరినీ. థ్యాంక్ యూ.